Good morning. This is Dr. Jake Cleveland, and I want to talk to you today about self-awareness. Self-awareness is a tool that we can use to maximize every area of our life, right? So self-awareness is the ability to see oneself how other people see them in their environment and in their one-on-one interactions. Now, this is really important, and first we're going to talk about the environment. Have you ever been around somebody that doesn't quite get it? When you walk into a library, you might turn your voice down a little bit. When you walk into a church, you might clean up your language a little bit. I had a high school teammate that anytime we would go into a church, like the church fed us before a football game, he never would clean up his language, never would honor the environment, right? Until the team captain came up, ripped him for it, and said, "You got to understand your surrounding." That's self-awareness. That's the ability to understand in my area and what's around me and the people I'm with, the place I'm in, am I being perceived how I want to be perceived? Being able to adjust that place to place, environment to environment is crucial for our success. And as you can imagine, it's just as more crucial in our one-on-one interactions, right? So have you ever worked with somebody who just, again, doesn't quite get it? They can't get along. They're offending somebody, everything they say, and they don't even know it. That person lacks self-awareness. They lack the ability to perceive how they are being perceived by others. Now, we can't always put our full stock into how other people perceive us, right? Because other people aren't quite as familiar with us and our intentions. However, if the majority of people you're interacting with are perceiving you a certain way and they keep telling you, man, you're coming across as this or this or this, and you can't quite see it, you lack self-awareness, and that's something that we need to pivot on. That's something we need to adjust. Now, why would we even work on this, right? It's uncomfortable. It's not comfortable to take an introspective look and say, man, what am I doing that's not working? What am I doing that's not being perceived well? What are the things that I do really well, but what are the things that I've got a lot of ground to make up on? Well, first, it's essential for building relationships. Again, if you're in an environment or every time you interact with somebody, you're upsetting them, you're offending them, you're saying things you shouldn't, you're coming across too direct, not direct enough, whatever it is, it's going to be hard to build those relationships if you're not able to see how you're being perceived to them. You have to be able to be self-aware and pick up on these things and adjust and pivot as necessary in order to build relationships with people. That can be people, your friends, your family, that can be your coworkers, that can be the patients that you are dealing with as a clinician day in and day out, or the businesses you're working with if you're trying to sell them something or offer a service. We have to be able to build trust, build relationship with them. The second is building trust. Again, associated with that, people need to know that you're a trustworthy person and that you're somebody who sees yourself how everybody else sees you, right? They have to be able to trust that Jake is self-aware in how he comes across, so I can trust him with everything else that he's pitching or he's asking me to do. Again, it's one thing to have a physician that just doesn't get people, right? It's one thing to go in and say, man, that doctor was not nice. But it's another thing to say, I don't trust him to take care of me, to have the best interest in mind, because he didn't listen to me, or at least he came across that way. Or if he can't even pick up on how he sounds, then how is he going to be able to provide the best care? It's a trust thing. And then lastly, self-awareness and the ability to look internally and say, where do I need to pivot and adjust and work on? It's really, really important for personal growth. You're never going to be able to grow if you can't even see where you need to grow, right? You're never going to be able to see your blind spots if you can't even focus in on, this is my blind spot. It's imperative that we take an internal look, or we go to one other person and say, hey, where do I need to grow? Where do I need to adjust how I'm acting, how I'm sounding, how I'm coming across, so that we can grow? And the sooner that we're able to start this self-awareness and we actually want to make impact and change things, it's going to take some time, right? Old habits die hard, but the sooner that we're able to do that, the sooner we start to grow. And we grow as a person, and as we grow as a person, guess what? We grow in our relationships with others. You network easier. And you're also building trust with people. If I'm a leader and I look at somebody and said, man, I've seen a drastic change in them because they realized this and now they've turned the ship around and they're making impact, that builds so much trust in me. They see a problem and they're willing to solve it, right? It's going to build trust. It's going to build relationships. You're going to grow personally, but then also your career doors are going to open up. Your personal doors are going to open up. You're going to start to see this impact just from being self-aware and being willing to change that. So my challenge is this. If you're not the most self-aware, or maybe you haven't done this in a while, I always recommend go to one person that you really, really trust. This isn't your Snapchat buddy. This isn't somebody you send reels to on Instagram, but go to somebody that you would say, hey, I know you're going to tell me the good, the bad, and the ugly. Right now, I need you to tell me the ugly. What is it? What's the 1 or 2 or 3 things that I really need to work on? Do you see me as a self-aware person? How can I build more trust? How can I be a better person in this environment, in this relationship? What are my gaps? What are my blind spots? Go to that one person. When they give you the feedback, sit down with it and say, okay, absolutely, this is what I am shortfalling on. This is how I'm going to improve that. So for me, a few years back, somebody came and they said, Jake, you come across as if you don't listen. I know that you do, but you talk more than you listen. And that was hard to settle with, but at the end of the day, I realized, there's absolutely truth to that. And so now in interactions, I talk, I engage, but I engage much more by asking questions, right? I'm going to ask leading questions, open-ended questions. I'm going to ask questions about you so that I can get to know you, but so that you also feel like, man, Jake really listened. We still accomplished the goal. We still got to know each other. We still did whatever we needed to for work or play, but you feel as if Jake's listened to you a whole lot more. I went to that one person. They told me what it was, and then I put into plan. All right, Jake, for every one thing you share, you're going to ask 3 questions. That was mine. And then over the years, it's gotten much and much easier to be self-aware and to work on this trait that I needed to. So go to your person, put a place in action, and then see how this is going to work in your professional life, right? So you figured out what it is. You have a plan moving forward, but then jot out how you think this is going to impact your immediate life. Is it your personal life? Is it your professional life? What is it going to do for you? And then in 3 to 6 months' time, sit down and measure that and say, hey, this is what it was that I needed to work on. This is how I've been working on it. And this is the progress that I've seen. If you're seeing great progress, keep it up. If you need to pivot again, that's okay, pivot again. But at the end of the day, it's all about effort and intentionality. And when we take that introspective look at ourselves and we determine, man, this is what I need to do to change, and this is why, we've got to put action to it. And that's where you're going to see the wins. Thank you.